So today we're doing some audio upgrades on the Zafira, and we're going to go from this to this. And this is how we're going to do it. This is the EONON SD1X6S Android touchscreen head unit. This has a 10-inch screen. It's a single DIN body, so it will fit in most cars. It's going to bring some real modern features and functionality to the dated interior of the Zafira, like GPS, Bluetooth calling, 4G, YouTube, and a lot of other fun-filled features that you will find useful in everyday life. That said, a thank you to EONON for sponsoring this video. Let's get into unboxing this. Don't forget, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and check out all the other videos on the channel. Let's get to unboxing this. So here we have everything laid out on the table. We have the screen, the single DIN head unit, all the attachment, the ISO connector, and all the little leads. So over here we have the reversing camera, we have the microphone, we have the 4G antenna, the GPS antenna, all the RCA inputs and outputs, as well as the rear audio outputs, the backup camera harness, and the USB harness, as well as this little bag of doodads, which are, I'm assuming, the cage pullers, spare fuse, and a little SIM card holder if the camera focuses. So we also have another USB here. Right, so this is the old head unit that we're going to be replacing, this old school Sony X-Pod unit, and actually this has been a pretty good radio. It has good sound quality, it's plenty loud enough, but it's just old school, and we want something newer, up to date, with navigation, reverse camera, all the bells and whistles that we can have, and that's why we're changing this. And like everything on this car, the workmanship is second to none from the previous owner, which means removal of this old head unit is a lot easier. I mean, I've already got the trim bezel off, and all we have to do is literally just pull the head unit out, because the previous owner didn't even bend the tabs on the cage here. It's literally just sat floating around in the dash, which hasn't done good things to the wiring. So we may have some wiring repairs to do, but we will have to see. What I'm going to do is just get that removed, and then there we go. We can get the cage for the new head unit in there and run some wiring. One of the only downsides to this installation is I won't be able to show the steering wheel controls functioning, because for some reason they don't work on this car now. This is a high mileage car, and it is an old car now. It's 21 years old. Certain things aren't going to work, and I mean, you can tell by the state of the horn buttons that this thing has seen some wear and tear. So unfortunately I won't be able to show that in this video, but this head unit does support that. And whilst it's insanely hot here at the moment, don't forget to like, subscribe and share if you're enjoying this content and enjoy these kind of installation / review videos and want to see more of them. So I actually have a couple of options for how I can run the wiring for the reverse camera from the back to the front, but I'm also going to be fitting an amplifier wiring kit so I can run a subwoofer in the boot, so that might make my decision a little bit easier for how I'm going to do this. Anyway, let's see what those options are. Option 1, I run it along the trim and above the roof liner, all the way to the front and down the A-pillar and behind the dashboard. That is how most people tend to do it with reversing cameras. 2 is I run it along the sill cover trim all the way to the front and up the side of the dashboard. That way, that will work perfectly for the amplifier wiring kit, and I may be able to trace those wires with the reversing camera setup as well. we've got the camera mounted to the trim here, it's just simple 2 screws, and it's a good idea to use Loctite on these pivot screws because they will vibrate loose over time, and once you lose them, they're going to be really fun to try and find another pair. I've got it mounted looking as clean as it's going to on this car just because of how this rear panel is designed, and a big hole there just to get the wires through. The same thing's going to happen to the car as well, and then I'll seal it to make sure that no water can get in. Now we've got the outside trim off here where the camera is going to be mounted. I need to drill a hole there so I can feed the wires through it. I'm also going to lacquer that just to stop the metal rusting over time. And then on the inside here, I've removed all the interior trim on the boot door and basically fed some welding wire up the inside of the boot door so I can feed the wire through and down here, all the way through and down this flexible seal here, and then hopefully down the C-pillar. The wiring ran for the reversing camera now, and it's all down inside the boot lid, and we're just working on the wiring down here to trigger it from the reverse lights, which when the camera focuses, well, from just the reverse lights, which I believe is this black and white wire here, and that's where we're going to take a power from, and the ground is taken from the number plate light up in there. So the next part of the job that we've got to do is install the GPS antenna, which I think I'm going to stick at the front of the dashboard by the windscreen just here. And then we have the 4G antenna, which will be going on the windscreen at the top corner here, tucked nicely out the way so then the wires can follow along down here and tuck nicely down around this trim here. Feed them through behind the glove box and then to the back of the radio. Also, we have the USBs, which I will be making a hole in the glove box for these, because you've got your USB and your Android Auto USB, as well as the SIM card holder, which again will also be in the glove box. And I'm going to attach my wiring kit for the subwoofer whilst I'm doing this. So I've got all these side trims out here to make that a little bit easier. So let's get to it. So we're about an hour and a half on, and we have the wiring ran for the reverse camera, the GPS and 4G antenna. So I'm about ready to pop this trim back on now, as everything's where it should be. I've ran the microphone up here, and yes, my headliner doesn't actually have a covering on it. This car was cheap for a reason, remember? So I've wedged the microphone there. I'm going to tuck that wiring out the way a little bit more, and it's just ran down the A-pillar down here and then comes across through the glove box like everything else and pops out there. So fairly simple, just a little time consuming. Right, so now we're at the point where we're actually fitting the head unit into the dashboard. So we've just got to make all of the connections that we need here. So this is your audio output and the external microphone input. So we will get that connected. We've got the reverse camera already connected. So we'll get that microphone joined up to there. So then that's to that one, then that plugs into there, like so. Then we have the USBs, which that's a 6-pin, so that goes in the bottom here. These are all relatively easy things to fit. It's pretty self-explanatory and very, very easy. So we've got the 4G antenna that goes into this connection here. Just thread that on there like so. And then we have the GPS antenna, which again just screws on here like so, nice and easy. All of this install is pretty easy, it's just been made difficult by this car, unfortunately. So it's taken me all day so far, from 9 o'clock in the morning. It's now nearly 6 o'clock at night. So I am exhausted to say the least, but that's more so because of this car than the head unit. The reverse camera took quite a long time to fit due to just how difficult this car is, and I've still got to troubleshoot an issue with that because it's not working, and it's not due to the camera, it's due to the reverse light switch, I believe. And then we have this little sub harness here, again audio outputs. So that's that connected there. So now we have all those wires connected, we just need to connect the harness adapter and feed everything in, not forgetting the antenna, but I need to find a adapter for that. If we come into the driver's seat here, we can see we've got the head unit fitted here, the 4G antenna mounted just there, and the GPS antenna mounted there. All the wiring is hidden cleanly out the way. The backup camera runs along the headliner and down the A-pillar here, all behind the glove box. And then if we open the glove box, we have our USBs, the CarPlay, and the other 2 USBs for either memory stick or just charging things. I can still get to all my heater controls and the hazard light switch just behind there. So installation of this was really easy, especially with all the other accessories. It was just the backup camera took a bit of time. So we have come out well out the way of anyone just to give this EONON head unit a good test, just to see how good the audio quality is. Now it should be noted that it's the head unit alone powering the door speakers. All round there is no additional amplifier, it is purely the sound coming straight out of the head unit, and to be fair to it, it's pretty impressive. We have some YouTube friendly music loaded up on here, and let's see how well this does. The subwoofer's turned off at the minute, so this is just the audio coming from the door speakers and the head unit alone. one thing I really like about this head unit is the fact that it has this DSP function, which really allows you to tune the sound to how you want it to be. And especially, you know, when you come to turn the subwoofer off, it's real easy. You can tune your high pass and low pass frequencies on your subwoofer output. You've got 3D surround sound control. You've got you can sweep around the car with the audio. You know, these are quite high-end functions on... Yes, this is a fairly pricey head unit, but I don't believe it's overpriced at all for what it does. And when we go back off of this menu, home screen, with the interface that we have, we've got obviously your DSP function there, your Bluetooth music, videos, your phone call, and the radio function. You've got your radio frequency displayed there. Everything's easy to navigate. You've got your music there and your sat nav here. Now, one issue that I've had, and I can't figure it out, but I don't think it's the head unit's fault, is maps keeps messing up, and for whatever reason it won't actually display the map apart from a certain area. And I don't know what's going on there, whether I have location on or off. It doesn't make a difference. Now, it does have its own built-in GPS antenna, so that shouldn't really affect it, I wouldn't have thought. But that said, that's the only issue I've had with this. The Bluetooth connectivity works really well. The phone call feature works really well. I can simply just open it up and connect to my phone. It's a really friendly interface, and if you... Granted, if the steering wheel controls worked, it would be a lot easier to control the volume, but you've literally got the volume control function there. Nice and easy slider. This is a really good fast head unit. Now have the reverse camera working exactly as it should, with a new switch and a little bit of a rewire, so if I put the car in reverse, it will automatically load up the reverse screen pretty quickly. If we hit this button here, we can see all the apps that we have in here. You have access to everything. The Talk OBD app is also a really useful app to have if you like to keep an eye on things like all your engine data whilst you're driving, because this high performance machine requires that. I will certainly be getting a Bluetooth module to link to that. As well as that, because we have 4G capability on this with the SIM card, we can actually go on YouTube, Chrome, and do things like that. We can search for anything, we can set up Netflix. You know, this head unit is actually really full of features that are great for those long road trips, especially if you have kids. So there you have it, and the results speak for themselves, and the quality of this head unit is second to none for the price point. That said, the only issue that I have had is with the Google Maps and one specific area showing up and nowhere else. That could be a software issue or a hardware issue, I don't know, I've got to figure that out yet. I should probably stay away from technology, I am no good with it, and a smartphone is about as far as it goes. But if you want to get yourself one of these head units, head to the link in my description and use the code M1 for £10 off. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like videos like this, check out the rest of the videos on the channel, and a huge thank you to EONON for sponsoring this video. Also, you will always get open, honest and transparent reviews, even on sponsored content. I pride myself on my reputation and try to be as open and honest as possible. That said, don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next one.